Hello world, hello world. Welcome back to my channel. Call me Biz. George Carlin. This man, he's made me laugh. He's made me think. Sometimes I disagree, sometimes I agree, but I always learn, and that's important. I always learn. So that alone, for that alone, I have tremendous respect for this man. This is George Carlin. Pro-life, abortion, and the sanctity of life. All right, look, if you enjoy this content, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, like the video if you like the video, leave a comment. Look, let me know you were here. No more, 2024, no more ghost watches. Make yourself known. All right, look, if you ain't got nothing to say, just be like, I was here. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Let's go ahead and watch. Let's get it. That's a lot of love. That's a lot of love.
Thank you. Thank you. Why is it that most of the people who are against abortion are people you wouldn't want to fuck in the first place, huh? Boy, these conservatives are really something, aren't they? They're all in favor of the unborn. They will do anything for the unborn. But once you're born, you're on your own. Pro-life conservatives are obsessed with the fetus from conception to 9 months. After that, they don't want to know about you. They don't want to hear from you. No nothing. No neonatal care, no daycare, no Head Start, no school lunch, no food stamps, no welfare, no nothing. If you're pre-born, you're fine. If you're preschool, you're fucked. You're fucked.
Oh, shit.
Conservatives don't give a shit about you until you reach military age. Then they think you are just fine, just what they've been looking for. Conservatives want live babies so they can raise them to be dead soldiers. Pro-life. Pro-life. These people aren't pro-life, they're killing doctors. What kind of pro-life is that? What, they'll do anything they can to save a fetus, but if it grows up to be a doctor, they just might have to kill it? They're not pro-life. You know what they are? They're anti-woman. Simple as it gets. Anti-woman. They don't like them. They don't like women. They believe a woman's primary role is to function as a broodmare for the state. Pro-life. You don't see many of these white anti-abortion women volunteering to have any black fetuses transplanted into their uteruses, do you? No, you don't see them adopting a whole lot of crack babies, do you? No, that might be something Christ would do. And you won't see a lot of these pro-life people dousing themselves in kerosene and lighting themselves on fire. You know, morally committed religious people in South Vietnam knew how to stage a goddamn demonstration, didn't they? Huh? Hey. They knew how to put on a fucking protest. Light yourself on fire! Come on, you moral crusaders, let's see a little smoke to match that fire in your belly. Here's another question I have. How come when it's us, it's an abortion, and when it's a chicken, it's an omelet? Hey.
Come on. Come on, man.
What?
We are grown smart.
Are we so much better than chickens all of a sudden? When did this happen, that we passed chickens in goodness? Name 6 ways we're better than chickens. See, nobody can do it. You know why? Because chickens are decent people. You don't see chickens hanging around in drug gangs, do you? You don't see a chicken strapping some guy to a chair and hooking up his nuts to a car battery, do you? When's the last chicken you heard about came home from work and beat the shit out of his hen, huh? Doesn't happen. Those chickens are decent people. Well, let's get back to this abortion shit. Now, is a fetus a human being? This seems to be the central question. Well, if a fetus is a human being, how come the census doesn't count them? If a fetus is a human being, how come when there's a miscarriage, they don't have a funeral? If a fetus is a human being, how come people say we have 2 children and 1 on the way, instead of saying we have 3 children? People say life begins at conception. I say life began about 1 billion years ago, and it's a continuous process. Continuous, just keeps rolling along. Rolling, rolling, rolling along. I say, you know something? Listen, you can go back further than that. What about the carbon atoms? Huh? Human life could not exist without carbon. So is it just possible that maybe we shouldn't be burning all this coal? Just looking for a little consistency here in these anti-abortion arguments. See, the really hardcore people will tell you life begins at fertilization. Fertilization when the sperm fertilizes the egg, which is usually a few moments after the man says, gee, honey, I was going to pull out, but the phone rang and it startled me.
Gee, honey, I was going to pull out. That's what I was thinking.
But even after the egg is fertilized, it's still 6 or 7 days before it reaches the uterus and pregnancy begins. And not every egg makes it that far. 80% of a woman's fertilized eggs are rinsed and flushed out of her body once a month during those delightful few days she has.
Yeah.
They wind up on sanitary napkins, and yet they are fertilized eggs. So basically what these anti-abortion people are telling us is that any woman who's had more than 1 period is a serial killer. Consistency. Consistency. Hey, if they really want to get serious, what about all the sperm that are wasted when the state executes a condemned man and one of these pro-life guys who's watching comes in his pants, huh? Here's a guy standing over there with his jockey shorts full of little Vinnies and Debbies. And nobody's saying a word to that guy. Not every ejaculation deserves a name. Now, speaking of consistency, Catholics, which I was until I reached the age of reason, Catholics and other Christians are against abortions, and they're against homosexuals. Well, who has less abortions than homosexuals? Leave these fucking people alone, for Christ's sakes.
That's a fact.
Here is an entire class of people guaranteed never to have an abortion. And the Catholics and Christians are just tossing them aside.
That's
You'd
a
think
fact.
they'd make
That's a
natural
fact.
allies.
That's a fact.
Go look for consistency in religion. And speaking of my friends, the Catholics, when John Cardinal O'Connor of New York and some of these other cardinals and bishops have experienced their first pregnancies and their first labor pains and they've raised a couple of children on minimum wage, then I'll be glad to hear what they have to say about abortion. I'm sure it'll be interesting. Enlightening, too. But, in the meantime, what they ought to be doing is telling these priests who took a vow of chastity to keep their hands off the altar boys. Keep your hands to yourself, Father. You know? When Jesus said, suffer the little children, come unto me, that's not what he was talking about.
Come on. Yo, come on.
So you know what I tell these anti-abortion people? I say, hey, if you think a fetus is more important than a woman, try getting a fetus to wash the shit stains out of your underwear. For no pay and no pension. I tell them, think of an abortion as term limits. That's all it is. Biological term limits. But you know, the longer you listen to this abortion debate, the more you hear this phrase, sanctity of life. You've heard that, sanctity of life. You believe in it? Personally, I think it's a bunch of shit. Well, I mean, life is sacred? Who said so? God? Hey, if you read history, you realize that God is one of the leading causes of death. Has been for thousands of years. Hindus, Muslims, Jews, Christians, all taking turns killing each other because God told them it was a good idea. The sword of God, the blood of the Lamb, vengeance is mine. Millions of dead motherfuckers. Millions millions of dead motherfuckers, all because they gave the wrong answer to the God question. You believe in God? No. Dead. You believe in God? Yes. You believe in my God? No. Dead. My God has a bigger dick than your God. Thousands of years. Thousands of years, and all the best wars, too. The bloodiest, most brutal wars fought, all based on religious hatred, which is fine with me, eh? Anytime a bunch of holy people want to kill each other, I'm a happy guy. But don't be giving me all this shit about the sanctity of life. I mean, even if there were such a thing, I don't think it's something you can blame on God. Now, you know where the sanctity of life came from? We made it up. You know why? Because we're alive. Self-interest.
Yeah.
Living people have a strong interest in promoting the idea that somehow life is sacred. You don't see Abbott and Costello running around talking about this shit, do you? We're not hearing a whole lot from Mussolini on the subject. What's the latest from JFK? Not a goddamn thing. Because JFK, Mussolini, and Abbott and Costello are fucking dead. They're fucking dead.
He's not
and
wrong.
dead people give less than a shit about the sanctity of life. Only living people care about it, so the whole thing grows out of a completely biased point of view. It's a self-serving, man-made bullshit story. It's one of these things we tell ourselves so we'll feel noble. Life is sacred. Makes you feel noble. But let me ask you this. If everything that ever lived is dead, and everything alive is gonna die, where does the sacred part come in? I'm having trouble with that. Because, I mean, even with the stuff we preach about the sanctity of life, we don't practice it. We don't practice it. Look at what we kill. Mosquitoes and flies, because they're pests. Lions and tigers, because it's fun. Chickens and pigs, because we're hungry.
And they're delicious.
Pheasants and quails, because it's fun. And we're hungry. And people, we kill people, because they're pests. And it's fun.
Not some psycho shit, but...
And you might have noticed something else. The sanctity of life doesn't seem to apply to cancer cells, does it? You rarely see a bumper sticker that says, "Save the tumors." Or "I break for advanced melanoma." Ah, viruses, mold, mildew, maggots, fungus, weeds, E. coli bacteria, the crabs. Nothing sacred about those things. So at best, the sanctity of life is kind of a selective thing. We get to choose which forms of life we feel are sacred, and we get to kill the rest. Pretty neat deal, huh? You know how we got it? We made the whole fucking thing up.
Oh, that just ended abruptly. I disagree with most things that were said. I mean, he's a comedian, so his gift is to say things in a way where, you know, if you don't think about it too much, you might agree with him. I usually agree with George Carlin on most things, but I think he passed, right? Rest in peace to him. Let's say if he were to be alive, break into his house and see how much he does to protect that life that he don't think is so sacred, or see how much he would do to protect his children. So a lot of these things, I think, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate from this because people just like to blindly just follow people and not really think about what he's saying. He's saying life is not sacred. Well, it's not that life is not sacred. And he is right in a way by saying we made it all up. Of course, we are human. We are going to be biased on what, of course, human life mean the most to us because that's our species. We are humans. So we're biased towards that, just like you feel like your children is probably more important than other people's kids. I'm pretty sure ants feel like their life is more sacred than human lives. And I'm sure lions feel like their lives are more important than human lives because they will fucking eat the shit out of you if they could. But that's not the point. The point is this is the experience that we are having. So I get what he's trying to say, the whole abortion thing. I don't believe in abortions. I've had a situation where an abortion did occur, and she didn't feel good about it. And till this day, and that was years ago. That was almost 10 years ago. And I still don't feel good about it. So, I mean, I feel like there's this connection that we have. It's just like almost like with the God thing. I feel like there's this connection that we have to our own unborn child that's just different. So he's saying, okay, when does this child actually become a human being? To me, I feel like the minute that a woman finds out she's pregnant, to me that's a human. That's like a potential. That's like a seed that's sprouting. You know, I mean, you could plant a seed and you could kill it before it becomes an apple tree. That does not mean it wasn't already an apple tree. You just didn't give it time enough to grow and to become what it is. And the fact that humans, right, like motherfuckers who actually went through the whole process of somebody not aborting their ass is talking about they believe in abortion, it's already hypocritical and wild to me. So I don't. And he's saying it's funny how people who believe in who don't believe in abortion don't get women anyways. It's not a fact. What? That what the fuck? That is not a fact. The hoes love me. Like, and everybody I know, they got kids and shit like that. Like, what? That's just an attack. That's one of those things where you pandering. All right, so I didn't agree with. He said some dope shit. It is true. Once you are born, they could give a fuck less about you once you become to a certain age. But that's just human nature. All right, now. Of course, like, society's built in a way where we should protect the young until the young becomes able. Once you're able, no one gives a fuck. Your parents give a fuck, but no one gives a fuck. That's how it is. Eagles will take care of their fucking their little baby birds until one day they fucking push them off you feel? That don't mean they don't care. It just means you are at an age where you need to fend for yourself and survive. So I don't necessarily agree with it. I don't believe in abortion. I feel like abortion is murder. So that is what it is to me. Now I understand circumstances. I'm not stupid. I understand circumstances. Like, under some circumstances, some women are like, nah, there's no way I could keep this baby. This is gonna traumatize me for my whole. I get it. But if you just fucking around, you end up having a kid and you have an abortion, you are a murderer. Not only you are a murderer, you are fucking irresponsible. That's just me. Now, I'm not going to judge you in a way that's going to make you like, but just know that I understand what you did. You feel me? Maybe you should have more self-control. Maybe you should practice protection. Or make sure you should just practice awareness, because a lot of women say, I had an abortion because I don't see myself having a child with a man like that. You don't see yourself reproducing with a man like that, but you see yourself sleeping with a man like that. Or even men who want abortions. I don't believe in it in either way. I just don't believe in abortions. That's just me. And I stand firmly on that, and no one can change my mind on that. That's just a fact. But I had some good laughs. He did have a few points. He is right. Once you become of a certain age, they don't give a fuck about you. And talking about which lives do we choose to care about, I mean, that's just human nature. Of course, as humans, we'll make it all up, and that's how I feel like we made up religion also. You feel me? So I do agree with him in certain things. Certain things is a stretch. But anyways, y'all let me know how you feel about it in the comment section below. For me, I will have to respectfully disagree. I'm still gonna watch more. I still think he is a brilliant comedian. But I disagree 100% with that shit. Fuck out of here. But anyways, I'll see y'all in the next one. Guess what? You better be the peace.